all alone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm on live on like 4 different platforms right now. So I'm giving everybody a chance to join. Thank you guys for joining me. Good morning, Rod. Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning, Rose. Facebook, if you're live with me, please comment. Okay. Good morning, Stacy Ann. Good morning, Wilna. Good morning. I see another person, but I don't know who that is. Good morning. Helping Hands Creative Events. Good morning. Good morning, Rosie. Good morning, Mel. We'll give it like 5 more minutes and then I'm going to start. So really today is Self-Care Saturday, recovery mode. And I'm just going to talk about today, the process of recovery for me and what that looked like. I'm about to be real raw, uncut. Good morning, J Stuff. Good morning. If you guys can, please tag, please share if you guys can. I want to be a blessing to somebody, to someone. Good morning, Cash. Please tag, please share. Two more minutes. Give everybody 2 more minutes. Good morning. All right, 1 more minute, y'all. Tag, share while you can. I wouldn't want nobody to miss it, but if anything, they could catch the replay. Good morning, Shay. Thank you. You too. Blessings, Mel. Blessings. I'm not going to be before y'all long. I just want to share some nuggets. I want to share my testimony real quick and just help someone during their recovery process to identify when they're in a recovery process. Good morning, Benice. All right, y'all, we're going to start. So, as I said, every Saturday this month, we'll be doing recovery mode self care Saturday. And I chose Saturday because, well, I didn't choose Saturday. I just felt like, normally Saturdays, after we've worked the whole week, good morning, Anastasia. After we've worked the whole week, usually Saturday is that relaxed day, self care, personal time, quality time. And if you're not doing that, I must suggest that you do that. You carve out time for you. You carve out time to take care of self. And how does that look? Um, I mean, it's different for everyone. It's definitely different for everyone. But as for me, as I am intentional, Saturdays I do work. But I thank God that my job is not stressful on Saturdays, and so I do have the opportunity to carve out that time for myself, whether that's devotion, whether that's writing, whether that's um, getting up, looking cute, going out, lighting up some candles, cleaning, washing. All those things are therapeutic for me. And like I said, like lighting up the candle for me is a stress reliever, depending on what type of candle it is. And that's what I'm about to do now. Light up a candle because it's all a part of my self-care. It's all about the therapeutic part of taking care of self, of recovery mode, right? And I want you guys to understand, if you have pen and paper, you might want to write this down, take some nuggets, or if you could take mental notes, that you have to understand that recovery, what does that look like? Recovery is coming back to a normal state of health, mind, and or strength. And so, and then the other thing is the action of or process of regaining possession of something stolen or lost, regaining the process of the process of regaining possession or control of something stolen or lost. And that could be your mind, that could be your strength, that could be your joy, that could be your peace, that could be something materialistic, whatever it may be that is vital to you. That's the process of recovery, your identity. And so, all that to say this, um, how did I get here? Why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? Why did God lead me to do this? Recovery mode self care Saturdays is because, honestly, I never thought I would get back to a recovery state. And what do I mean by that is I never thought I would regain my strength. I never thought that I would regain my peace, my joy, my identity, my confidence, who I am. And you're probably wondering, like, okay, you serve God, like, you go to church, you have a relationship with God, you talk about God all the time, you encourage people. But you have to understand that grief doesn't care who it comes to, whether you're in God, whether you're not in God. Like, it doesn't care. Pain don't care who it comes to. Hurt don't care who it comes to. It just doesn't. And so when you don't have the proper ways of coping, the proper ways of recovering from something that is painful, that is traumatic, that hurts, you'll always revert back to that place of you losing yourself. And so I would say about 2 years ago, um, I didn't realize then that I was grieving, but I definitely was in pain. And then I realized that I grieved. I realized that I grieved for about 2 years. I grieved about 2 years after losing a child, miscarrying. Um, I lost amazing friendships. The past came knocking on the door. The past came knocking on the door of my marriage. I had to adjust to the different stages of life, different changes in life that I've never been used to. Um, it was very challenging, and sometimes that those challenging challenges can cause grief because you're walking into something new. Detachment happens. You lose people, you lose things. Like, God literally stripped me of the old me, and I was like, what is going on? I didn't know whether I was coming or going. And it caused me to lose myself, not knowing that it was all God. God was really trying to shut me all down, shut me down, stripped me of my old self, of what I knew, of what I was thinking, how I perceived things, to cause me to think new, to look at things differently, to perceive things differently, to cause me to understand that my grief wasn't for my harm, but literally it was about to get better for me. But had my mindset had not shifted, had God not shut me down for 90 days straight and caused me to deal with the inner me, the inner parts of me, the inner core of me, those things that was rooted in trauma, those things that was rooted in pain, those things that was rooted in grief that still had me going in cycles or reverting. It was so easy for me to revert back. God wanted to deal with those things. And the reason I say that is because when he shut me down for 90 days, I didn't know he was bringing me into a recovery mode. I didn't know the process, the depth of the process of my recovery. And sometimes that recovery process looks more damaging than good. It feels worse than it before it gets better. And why do I say that? Because I found myself in that recovery process going into a place of relapse. And you're like, Teresa, what are you talking about? A place of relapse. In that 90 days process, I was in so much like that trauma, like digging deep back into that trauma, digging deep back into that pain will make you feel like it'll feel so overwhelming, like it's overtaking you. And I found myself that I couldn't handle it. Why I couldn't handle it? Because I was handling it in my own strength. So here I go going back to a coping mechanism of comfortability that I knew, which was smoking. And anybody that knows, you probably never smoked, but anybody that knows, whatever makes you numb negatively, that's what you revert back to. For me, that was marijuana. I didn't care to go back to the club. I didn't care. I didn't really care to drink alcohol. Really, never really did anything for me. But smoking did. At least I felt like it did. It brought me back to a state. It numbed everything. It numbed the pain for a moment. It numbed how I felt for a moment. It numbed the loud voice, the loud noise in my thoughts for a moment. And notice I said for a moment because it was only temporary. It was only temporary. And I'm gonna put a pin note right here where anything you do to numb yourself, it's only temporary because the peace, that eternal peace that you're yearning for, because that's really what I was yearning for, that peace in my mind, that peace in my heart, that's really what my spirit was yearning for. But my flesh was stronger than my spirit, and it caused me to revert back to something carnal, which was smoking. And anything you yearn for in the flesh will always be temporary. And so God brought me back to that place, and he had to show me that I couldn't handle it in my own strength. And I shared this a couple of days ago where the last time I went, I was in the car and I was driving and I went into a parking lot and I exhaled that last moment of my blood. And I heard God loud and clear and say, "This is the last time you'll have an appetite for this." And believe it or not, I was happy, y'all. Because sometimes the things you try to stop, you cannot stop it in your own strength, but you really have to rely on God to stop it. But it requires you being intentional. It requires you to be obedient quickly. It requires you to resist quickly. It requires you to turn over your plate quickly. When God told me to turn over my plate for those 90 days, I was just like, man, God, like you want me to shut everything down for 90 days? Like I'm so used to doing this. And that was the problem. We're so used to doing things out of routine that it becomes an obligation. And little did we know we're still bleeding on the inside. We're still dying on the inside. So at the end of the day, what are we really encouraging people to do? To keep going while bleeding, while they're dying on the inside? And the thing is, are you really dying to self? Are you really dying to God? Or are you really just dying? And so I need you to understand that that recovery process will hurt. It will hurt. It will feel like it's getting worse before it gets better. That recovery process comes with detachment, and detachment hurts. That recovery process doesn't happen in comfort zone. You will not feel comfortable. You will see things, God will allow things to intentionally happen because sometimes you cannot recover in the same place that you were hurt in, that the pain was caused in, that the trauma was caused in. And you never know who caused that trauma or who caused that pain until God detaches you from it. And sometimes God has to detach you because he know you, because of your heart, you will not let go. And little did you know, what you're holding on to is doing more damage than good. And so another pinpoint, you got to watch where your loyalty relies, who your loyalty relies to. And what I mean by self-care requires that soul care. And that soul care only happens in that time of meditation, in that time of devotion, in that time of recovery. And in recovery, there's vulnerability. In recovery, there's intimacy that requires closeness, intimacy that requires being real, being raw, being authentic, being integral with God. And when you're integral with God rejoices in that. There's strength in that. How is there strength in that? Because the Bible says the joy of the Lord is our strength. And so where God is happy, where God has joy, he relinquishes strength onto us. And what does that strength do? That strength is liberating for us. That strength carries us through, graces us through when we ourselves don't have the strength. In recovery, it's required to be integral, because though your integrity to God can be embarrassing, the enemy will try to whisper shame, guilt onto you. Understand that it's freeing to your soul, it's liberating to your soul. Last but not least, I told y'all I won't be before y'all long. Recovery is important because recovery is beyond you. Recovery is beyond you. What do I mean by that? If you're chosen and you're called to break a generational curse, recovery is beyond you. Your recovery process is demanded, is a must, because there's a legacy, there's an impact that you need to make. There's a legacy that you need to leave behind, whether it's with your children, whether it's your children's children, whether it's on your job, whether it's the platform God has chosen you to be a catalyst in. Recovery is beyond you. Because as you recover, you are the trailblazer, the trendsetter to a host of other people's recovery process, to a host of other people's liberating process, deliverance, breakthrough. Because of your recovery process, other people will be able to not just obtain liberty and freedom, but they obtain something that is everlasting, and that is God. People get to experience God through you because of your recovery process. They are able to see God's hand upon your life. And what better impact, what better legacy, what better imprint you can leave than God? than Jesus Christ himself. The God of peace, the God of hope, the God of love, the God of comfort, the God of might, the God of power, the God of strength, the God that will cause you to overcome things that you never thought that you would overcome, the God that will cause you to escape things that you never thought that you could escape. Listen, embrace your recovery process. Embrace your recovery mode. This recovery mode is beyond you. This recovery mode is about legacy. This recovery mode is about impact. This recovery mode is about God. So I encourage you to embrace your recovery process. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will hurt, but for a moment, it gets better. It gets better. The recovery process comes with a broken heart. It comes with pain. It comes with betrayal. It comes with accusations. It comes with persecution. Yeah, that's how that looks. But I guarantee you that his word says, Psalm 34, verse 18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. That means he'll always be at your rescue when you're broken. He'll always be at your rescue when you are in pain. He'll always be at your rescue when it seems like your back is against the wall. But it requires trust. You have to trust this recovery process. You have to trust that he is with you. Proverbs 3 verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. You seek his will. You seek him in your time of devotion, in your time of recovery mode. You seek him in all that you do, and he will show you in which path to take. In other words, he'll lead you. In other words, he'll give you wisdom, but you got to trust him. You have to trust him with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, because your strength relies there. Your peace relies there. Your comfort relies there. Your wisdom is there. Your discernment is there. Your guidance is there. Your overflow is there. Your recovery is there. But you have to trust it. You have to trust him. And lean not on your understanding. Lean not on what you knew. Lean not on what you did before and how he had you overcome it before. Because when God is doing a new thing, everything is new. He'll connect you to a whole new new set of people. He'll give you a whole new set of instructions. God will switch it up on you. But he's the only God you can trust that'll switch up and it won't lead you wrong. It won't lead you down the wrong path. But truly, it's working together for your good. It's working together for your good. I love y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in on the first Saturday of Recovery Mode, Self-Care Saturday, that will be happening every Saturday this month. Join me every Saturday this month at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Recover with me, because we're going to recover all. Come 2023, we walking in recovery mode. We're walking in recovery mode. And you don't remember anything I said, trust your recovery process. Trust it. Trust what God is doing in your life. He has not left you. He has not forsaken you. He is with you. He is with you. Because recovery is beyond you, but it's legacy. It's about leaving an impact. Recovery is about God being displayed in your life. I love y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in. Have a great Saturday. Bye.